There is a term in programming called passing parameters, and it is what we do when we call a function that has parameters. We pass the parameters into the function so the function can use them. So here's a little example I've created. Here's our function. Here are our parameters, um, and I've set up just damage equals 100. Actor is we fetch the first actor from the global variable game actors. The game will set this up for us. We just grab the first one like that. Then I want to console log actor, and I should probably console log damage as well. And then we call the function and we pass in actor and damage, and then I will echo out actor and then damage at the end again. So when we call this function, we pass these parameters into the function, passing parameters. So we've already covered functions and parameters, so why am I going over this again? Well, it's because of we have two different ways. There may be more, but the ones I know of, we have two ways of passing parameters into a function. That is by value and by reference. So the general rule here is that when you pass in just a value like 100 or a piece of text like the actor's name, that is passed in by value. And when you pass in an object, you're passing it in by reference. And what this means is, I'll give you some examples. If you pass something in as value, it means you just get basically a copy of that value coming into the function. So even though damage is going into the function here, if we then say damage taken equals 10 instead of 100, the damage value on the outside will still be 100. So take damage, the function creates a local copy of this, and if we change the local copy, the outside value does not change. So that's what it means to pass in a parameter by value. But then the other type, by reference, we pass in this actor object, and then if inside here we say actor.name equals new name, the change will be active on the outside as well. It will make the change to the object that you passed in. It does not create a local copy. So to show this working, that's why I've got these console logs. To begin with, we will console log the actor. We will console log the damage. You know what? Let's just console log the name to be more precise about what we're doing here. So it should console log the name, the damage. It will run this function, and we will change the damage value, and you will see that that does not change on the outside. We will change the name, and you will see that it does change on the outside, because damage taken is a value. It's been passed in by value. The object has been passed in by reference. And if it takes a while to figure this one out, to wrap your head around the logic, that's fine. I remember this taking me a while when I was learning it. But really, it's a simple concept. It's just it might creep up on you when you're not expecting it. You could be coding something and maybe some value doesn't change, or a value does change when you don't expect it to. And this might be the problem. This might be the reason why. Um, so let's just try and run this and see if we get the expected result. So there we go. The object, or the actor, it started off as the name Reed. We changed it and it came out as new name. The damage, it started off as 100. We changed it locally within the function, and it did not change the outside value. So how would you change this value then? Well, you could, if you want a function to change a value, you would probably just say make the damage equal to, and then the function, and then that would change the value on the outside, and you would return something here. All right, well that might be a fairly short lesson. Oh, I guess one last thing here, because really this is just something you might need to go over and go over again, and even try code, try a few different variations of functions and different variables to see how it works. You know, try tweaking it, and you can write this out yourself. Try passing in different values here, and then changing them in different ways, and then see what you get out again. Because there'll be different ones. I believe these are called primitives. That's maybe a topic for another video, but if you pass in a primitive, it is by value, and if you pass in an object, it's by reference. So here, what happens if we say actor equals null? Well, technically this still creates a local version of this, but before you start asking, well, why does this not behave in the same way as the damage taken does? Well, the outside actor will still be the same. If I take out this, the outside actor, the original one that we passed in, this will not equal null, because when we pass this in, we simply pass in a reference to the object. So if we perform an action on the object like this, we are accessing a property on this reference, and so it will update the name. But if we set the reference equal to null, then we're emptying the reference, and it no longer has access to the object that we've passed in. So if that bit is complicating, then you could probably set that aside and not worry about it for now, because the essence is primitives or values will be passed in by value, objects will be passed in by reference. You can continue thinking as if this is the object rather than it being a reference to the object. That'll get you most of the way by thinking that way. But keep in mind, if you do try and do something like this, where you want to create a new actor and then do something, well, it's not going to affect the one on the outside. So keep that in mind. So yeah, short video, passing parameters by reference, by value. It might take a while to uh, make that stick in your head, but reference is just like the word means, I guess. It is a reference to something. The value is just a copy of the value. Okay, thanks for watching.